can.
You could see Stephen Bradley wasn't happy with a couple of the decisions that have gone against his side over the last couple of minutes. That's an early ball played over the top for Connolly now. He only has Afolabi inside, and he's looking at the edge of the area, just grazing the post with that effort from Ali Coote, who arrived on the scene at the perfect time with that late run, and he just couldn't steer it inside that left-hand post.
Yeah, and he knows it's a massive chance. It's a brilliant ball over the top. Grace and Kavanagh just switch off, and Connolly just gets in behind. It's a great cutback from him. Coote to be disappointed he hasn't hit the target. You can see he thinks it in. It just bends away from the post.
It was a really good run from Connolly, going back to the final weeks of last season. Bradley looks on, a long ball forward towards Gaffney. Now Burke, and he hits one. Struck it pretty well, had Talbot worried momentarily.
It's just the second ball he picks up in midfield. I think Dylan Watts comes onto it, picks up the second ball, plays it out to Burke. You can see his first touch just sets him, and he hits one straight away. But it was always going over the bar. Watts is onto the second ball.
Only as far as Burke. Burke gets his head up, fires one across, and that could have ended up anywhere. It came off Christian Novak, and thankfully from a Bohemians point of view, it was straight at James Talbot.
He just fires across goal. You can see Horton's on his back foot trying to head it, and Connolly isn't onto it. Burke flashes onto it, and he just flashes this across goal, and Novak swings a right foot at it. And he's blessed it goes into Talbot's hands.
On either side of his goalkeeper, and that could have been a real awkward moment for Chris in that penalty area. Whipped in by Burke. Great header off the bar. Still not clear. And that's as close as Shamrock Rovers have come. Gaffney on the turn. The Bohemians can breathe a sigh of relief as Afolabi looks to get them on the... And Dirk feels he's got the beating of Buckley. He does so. Great ball! Clawed away by Talbot. Out towards Byrne. Another ball in, and that's a brilliant goal! Delivered on a plate by Jack Byrne, and turned home by Neil Ferrugia at that front post. And Shamrock Rovers find a breakthrough close to half-time.
We said it, they were just pinning them back in the last 5 minutes. Burke and Byrne are instrumental in this. First Burke down the left-hand side with the cross in, and then Byrne on the right-hand side. Wonderful ball across the pitch, and Ferrugia ends up in there. It's a great header from him. But you see the work from Burke here. Goes at Buckley and just fizzes across, similar to the one earlier.
He came out off Talbot. And when it was laid off by Ferrugia to Jack Byrne, he just took his time, and he managed to pick the 23-year-old out, who tucks it away for his first goal of the season.
Ferrugia's the one that picks up the seconds and lays it back to him, and then he just carries on his run into the box, and he's on the move as he's heading it. And he, again, brilliant play from Jack Byrne, fantastic header from Ferrugia.
Well, it's Sean Kavanagh who's acting as the draft stopper. Here it comes from McDonald. Lovely hit, but good handling again from Alan Manus. It needed to be so.
Yeah, and he just makes sure all his experience, he gets his body behind it, he takes a little touch, he doesn't catch it first time, but he just cushions it in. You can see here, he reads him really well.
Really done into Jack Byrne. Byrne for Kavanagh. Kavanagh again, capable of producing so much better than that from that wide area.
You see just Byrne and Burke just come alive in around the box, and it's a lovely ball down the side from Kavanagh, and you expect better quality with his left foot. He just gets too much on it. You can see him shaking his head, he's disappointed with it. But they're just getting stuck on this side of the pitch, balls they're trying to play out. It goes into McDade, and there's no real support around him. It's Ferrugia again that nicks it. And just said,
lovely skill, trying to get around Paddy Kirk. He's really to the fore in this second half in particular. Burke picks out a really good ball to boom! Well, that took a nick on the way through.
Again, it's all Burke. He's really enjoying the game. He's taking extra touches in this inside right channel. And Ferrugia's always the willing runner on the outside, and that just opens up the inside of the pitch. This time it's Poon that steps on, and he's got a wonderful left foot as well. It just drags it a little bit with the height of the deflection, I think.
And the man on loan for the season from Florida Talon, not too far away from getting his first goal for his new club. Stephen Bradley knows that to have some more defending to do here. They're bunched at that back post. In it comes from Byrne. And it breaks to Gaffney! And Gaffney tucks it away! Shamrock Rovers double their lead!
And it's been coming from set pieces all night. The delivery from Jack Byrne is on the button. I don't understand why the Bows centre-back decides to flick it on and not just head it away. And that leads to Gaffney just to sneak in at the back post. Left-footed shot goes through a lot of bodies and it just trickles into the bottom corner. But it's everything Rovers deserved. They come out in the second half and they've been dominant, and all the chances have been coming from them.
Rory Gaffney, his 5th goal against Bohemians and his 3rd of the season, was never dealt with properly, and when it arrived with very little angle to work with, Gaffney kept his cool and tucked it into the bottom corner.
Again, Nowak looks like he's trying to flick it on, Dave. I think he actually should just come through and head it back where he came from.
Gaffney again. Jack Byrne knowing exactly where his front man would be, and it's suddenly 2-on-2 here. Graham Burke back to Gaffney. Gaffney looking to finish it. Oh, he's gone with the deft chip instead of putting his boot behind it. But again, Shamrock Rovers feel they've got Bohemians on the rack here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful ball from Byrne. He just hooks around the corner. Like you said, Thwarting's on a booking, so he can't be overly aggressive with Gaffney. Gaffney gets his body in brilliantly and plays a 1-2 with Burke. I, like you, thought he was just going to swing on this as soon as it's set for him. I thought he's just going to bang his right foot through that.
Byrne is fine. I'm ready to take this free kick. And again, Rovers winning the header. That's a fabulous save from James Talbot. Flung his body to his left. And whatever life remains in this game for Bows, they can thank their goalkeeper for it.
Yeah, he's giving them a little half a chance here, but it's a fantastic header from Grace. You see, he's up early. They haven't defended them well all evening, Bows. They've looked really sort of tepid from set pieces, and there's another chance that they've given up.
And there is the full-time whistle. A huge victory in the derby for Shamrock Rovers, who, having waited so long for their opening win of the season, make it back-to-back victories. And they are very much back. A really good game at Dalymount Park, but it is the reigning league champions who've taken the 3 points. Full time here, it's Bohemians 0, Shamrock Rovers 2.